The DynaComp is probably one of the most common compressors that exists today. Whiskey. Can I help you? Sorry, I'm not sorry. Basically, if there was going to be like a standard compressor, this would pretty much be it. Got two controls, output and sensitivity, and the advantage of that means that it's basically impossible to stuff it up. Since this is pretty much the most common compressor that exists, I thought I'd take a moment to explain what a compressor actually does. Effectively, a compressor will level out your playing to make it a little bit more consistent. It will take the loudest parts and sort of bring them down in volume so that they're more, in line with everything else, and will also boost up the quieter moments of your playing, so again, it's at sort of a more consistent level. This can be really useful for something like fingerpicking or funk playing, where you want your playing to be really sort of like consistent and you don't want your dynamics to be jumping all over the place. It's especially good for funk playing because it can sort of even out your transients and make them less sharp, so that way, just overall it sounds better. Plus, a good compressor will bring out some extra detail in your tone, because it's boosting things up and sort of evening things out, so you just generally hear a little bit more. So quite frankly, I find them really useful for any lead guitar work. Also, really good for any sort of tapping. There is a trade-off, however, and that trade-off obviously is that you lose any dynamics. So anytime that you want a note to really cut through the audience, you're not going to get that. And anytime you want to back off and be a little bit subtle, a compressor is going to kill that as well. Personally, I don't really like playing with compressor pedals because I always feel like there's something between me and the amp. But that being said, they're so useful, I've always had one on my board. You're coming up to say hello again, are you? Hey, whiskey. So how does the DynaComp sound? Like a compressor. That might sound like a really flippant statement, but honestly, it just sounds like a compressor. And the reason why it just sounds like a compressor is because honestly, most compressors, like even the super fancy compressors, most of them are kind of modified DynaComp circuits. So if you want to go back to like the basics of what a compressor is, you go back to a DynaComp. To be a little bit more specific and hopefully a little bit more helpful though, I do find it a little bit on the quiet side. When I look at the waveforms, there is a definite sort of drop in overall volume. So I kind of wish it had a little bit more oomph. It also rolls off a little bit of the bottom end and it boosts a little bit of the top end to make things a little bit more jangly and sparkly. But yeah, it sounds fine. It doesn't do anything wrong, doesn't do anything amazing. It's a compressor. If you want to find out what a compressor does and if you need one for your signal chain, get a DynaComp. It will answer all of your questions.